What's going on, everybody? Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm NeonMushroom. Today we are once again ripping off Francisco Pawluzs. He just dropped a video on Aluren, and this is a Treva Aluren deck. I watched the entire thing and thought, I wonder if I could learn to play this deck. I've been dying to find a survival deck that I'm really into, and HFAB just isn't it. I know that Crazy Carl and I have been chatting off in the Discord chat rooms about potentially maybe I should try classic full English breakfast, which doesn't use Hermit, so you've got basic lands and it's a little bit more forgiving. But I wanted to try this because I already have one copy of Aluren in the studio, and to get 3 more copies, I mean, I guess it is like $120 to get 3 more copies, but at the end of the day, finishing out a really cool pre-modern deck, I think it's worth it. So how does this deck work? Aluren, we need to start there. We recently did a paper gameplay video where we played Sultai Primal Prayers and Value Vintage, and this is very much the card that Primal Prayers was based off of when they printed it in MH whatever set that came out of. Green 2, you may cast any player, not just you, it is symmetrical. Any player may cast creature spells with mana value 3 or less without paying their mana cost and as though they had flash. This unlocks a lot of stuff, but before we get into the stuff, we're also playing, this is kind of a newer take on the Aluren decks, Survival of the Fittest, which allows you to not only cut down on combo pieces because you can always search them up, but play some really neat silver bullets in the deck. So here's how the combo works. I know there's a combat damage oriented combo that I don't know how to execute, so we're doing this live. If you want to watch our live streams, they are in the description below on this video. But I don't know how to do the combat combo. I know it involves Spike Feeder and probably Wall of Roots and generating mana and making a dude huge. I'm gonna hope that gaining infinite life is enough. How the infinite life combo works is Spike Feeder is going to let you remove a counter, which is going to gain you 2 life. Once you've done that, you can bounce it. And the way we do that is with Mana War. You put that into play for free, bounce your Spike Feeder, very cool. And then you need to get the Mana War out of play, which can be removed from play with Cavern Harpy. From there, you can gain infinite life because it only costs you 1 life per iteration of bouncing all these creatures, and the Spike Feeder gains you 2 life. Outside of that, we're doing mid-range stuff. Meddling Mage is going to be really good in some matchups. The sideboard is full of really neat sideboard cards. Hopefully I can figure them out as we go. But let's hop into some games. Pre-modern only Cyrus Bales. Check this shit out. Leave event. I'm sorry. Cyrus Bales. Let me just let him know he's going to be in a video. This is Crucible of Words for anyone not familiar. All right. I got to do a little chat. Hold on, everybody. We're both making videos, so go watch the other side of this matchup on Crucible of Words. Unintentional little collab. I would like to play first. Good luck. Have fun. All right. This hand. Okay, we've got Wall of Blossoms, Survival. We've just got a forest as our land. If we had like a Birds of Paradise, I could see winging it because we have the Survival. The upside's super high. Even here, I feel a little bit of urge to keep it just because I've got like fodder for the Survival, the ability to cast it plus Aluren. If we had 1 more land in this hand and our opponent wasn't playing a hyper interactive deck, this would almost certainly be a win, but we have to mulligan this. I think I'm not that much of a sicko. This hand has Wall of Roots, Aluren, Mana War, which is a great start. Spike Feeder or Mana War, I think, is the pitch. And I'm not really sure which one we're supposed to pitch here. Between these two, Windswept Heath is almost certainly going to get Forest. Windswept Heath on Forest is going to allow us to have a green source that's not wastelandable. It lets us play Reflecting Pool on 2 and drop a Wall of Roots, setting up for Aluren. We've got 2 combo pieces, neither of which are the bird. The bird is the thing that really does the thing. I don't think Cyrus is playing mono red. I'm going to pitch the Spike Feeder, I think. No, maybe it's Mana War. We'll pitch the Mana War. The Spike Feeder does have some mid-range application. I guess the Mana War does too, but it's like tempo negative if I don't have anything to bounce. All right, we'll do it like this. We're just going to open on Windswept Heath and pass. Yeah, this deck is very sweet. What's up, Crucible? Great player and creator. Yeah, Crucible's awesome. We did 1 collab before. I need to bother him about doing another one. Crucible's content's very, very good. I don't know why he goes faceless. Good looking dude. I'm not sure why he goes faceless on his channel. I think if he had his face and people would be like, you know, humans kind of like get attached to faces. We get a turn 1 duress, and then he's taking the Aluren. That's a bummer. But we've got this Wall of Roots. We're hanging out. We're going to draw. Survival off the top. No luck. We'll play this Reflecting Pool, and we're going to go ahead and fetch. We're going to get a Wall of Roots into play right now. Try to land this Spike Feeder and play a mid-range game until we find some gas. Here's a forest. Tap. Tap. Here's my Wall of Roots. F6. Also, now Cyrus knows exactly what I'm up to. People are sleeping on Aluren. That is exactly what Pawluzs said. He said, people are sleeping on Aluren, then he played the video and proceeds to just destroy almost everybody. And I'm like, I might not be as good as Fran, but I might be good enough to learn this deck because Fran's very good. He's like a very, very good intuitive Magic player. Maybe I would even go as far as to say he's a good intuitive magician. All right, Smother my little boy. He's gone. My roommate guy made the comment that, what do you mean Wall of Roots? That's a man, and now we call it Man of Roots, even though there's clearly a wall full of roots in front of him. But that is not the subject matter that I think we're supposed to be paying attention to. Okay, we have this Meddling Mage that's now castable. We could, what if I went Meddling Mage and named Hypnotic Spectre so I didn't just get destroyed, right? I think that's where I want to go. Play a City of Brass, we'll tap for a blue. We will allow that trigger to resolve, and then we'll tap for a white. And here's a Meddling Mage. I will name Hypnotic Spectre. I could see this being a bad name, but the next turn our opponent's gonna have is turn 3, which is Hypnotic Spectre turn. I want to try to fade that since my hand size is already a little bit low. All right, there's the swamp. Skip your turn, you don't have it. Carnophage, Sui? Is this soup? Am I a fool? Have I named the wrong card? This Wall of Roots will be quite strong into that though. Aluren, well, green, white, Wall of Roots. Let's hope that he doesn't find another duress. I'm not going to attack into that Carnophage, and if Cyrus wants to keep paying life to leave the Carnophage on tap, that'd be fine, because I will be blocking with Wall of Roots, barring Cyrus having another piece of single target interaction. Soulless One. Soulless One's power and toughness are each equal to the number of zombies on the battlefield, plus the number of zombies in all graveyards. Is this not Sui? Is this straight up zombies? Because I'm not gonna lie, that's cool. Although if he's not turning that Carnophage sideways, that was I guess he's not super worried about his life total in this matchup, to be fair. All right, there's an Undiscovered Paradise. I guess we can play that out, and let's get this Aluren going. Do I want to save life off the City of Brass, or do I want to leave my Wall of Roots to 0-5? I think I want to leave my Wall of Roots to 0-5. I will take the pain there. Now, if we can find a survival, I think we're off to the races. Here, we're obviously not going to attack. We're just going to have this Aluren in play. We're going to have this Spike Feeder, and we are in the draw a powerful spell waiting room right now. Because if Cyrus is able to Lord of the Undead, what's going on here? How do we get this on the stack? Return target zombie from your graveyard to your hand. How are we? Oh, Aluren, duh. He can use the Aluren before I can. I was like, how'd that get in there? Hey, Soulless One, my favorite card. Really? I wasn't aware that Soulless One was a card until like just right now. So now that Soulless One is massive, I can still block it with Wall of Roots, but a little trick that Cyrus could use would be to play a zombie for free, and that'll pump the Soulless One. So what I think I want to do is my Meddling Mage is now semi-useless. I think I want to block the Lord of the Undead with my Meddling Mage. Do I want to get Spike Feeder into play too? Let's try that. Let's go cast without paying its mana cost with Aluren, and then let's go to blocks. I think we're gonna go Spike Feeder. We'll hold on Spike Feeder actually. We will go Meddling Mage. I don't think there's hippies in this deck. We'll block this Lord of the Undead. We'll go Wall of Roots onto this Carnophage, and then this Spike Feeder will actually kill the Soulless One depending, because the Lord of the Undead's giving a pump, making it a 4/4. If it dies, it becomes a 2/2, but if he cheats in another zombie, it becomes a 3/3. Then we look a little bit foolish. Are we willing to play to that? I think so. I think it's worth the shot. Now, if he has another Lord of the Undead, Cyrus is very smart. Would he make this play if he didn't have another Lord of the Undead? Unlikely, right? Let's do this, actually. Let's put a blocker on this Lord. Let's do it like that. I'll try to take 4, potentially 6 if he's got another Lord. There it is, another Lord. So this is going to take out probably my Spike Feeder. I'll take 6. My Wall of Roots does live through this, which is a big deal. Yeah, the Spike Feeder's gone. He doesn't care about this mage. I had no clue we were playing against zombies. And then we're still not in the greatest spot, but we have some top decks, like the Bird. Plains is not one of those top decks. We'll play this Undiscovered Paradise out, and we are now in the sad waiting room. On the bright side, he won't be able to attack with the Lord of the Undead unless he has another one. So we may be in a position where we can kind of like hold back the Lord of the Undead with the Meddling Mage, block the Carnophage with the Wall of Roots, and be in the return. Oh, that's right. Lord of the Dead can buy back Lord of the Undead. This is a bad spot for me to be in right now, you guys. This is tough. All right, we'll pop off some blocks. I think we're pretty much done here, but we'll pop off a block here, go to damage. The reason we're going to keep playing is because I could just draw Bird. And if we draw Bird, we could wind up in a spot where we can just like gain infinite life on the spot. It's not likely, but it's possible. Bird, Swords to Plowshares. I've seen worse things. All right, we're gonna pass the turn. I'm not even gonna show the land in my hand. My only saving grace is that Cyrus only has 1 card in hand, going up to 2. All right, Diabolic Edict. I think that means we're sacrificing Meddling Mage. Juice, I don't know if they can see it, but you might be able to see our first time chat from best viewers on Streamboo. Can you get that for me? You go to combat. All right, here I think our play is to set up a block like so, and then we can Swords to Plowshares, Lord of the Undead. That'll take 1, 2 power out of play, and then I go to 0. Yeah, I think so. I think this is just not quite good enough. Is there a block that doesn't kill me here? I'm gonna go through the motions here, but I do believe I'm dead. Yeah, I don't think there's a block that doesn't kill me. All right, Cyrus just destroys us game 1. What can we do game 2 and 3? Swords to Plowshares is definitely gonna be, thank you, Juice, I appreciate you, buddy. Swords to Plowshares is definitely gonna be very strong. Ray, not so much, although I wonder if Cyrus, he's probably a Dark Ritual deck. meaning he's likely a Dystopia deck. So maybe I need to think about Ray of Revelation and not cut my Monk Realist. Mana War, maybe it's a reasonable tempo play. Gilded Drake, not so much. Xantid Swarm and Gaia's Blessing and Naturalize I could think about. No Sylvan Library. I don't think I want this Meddling Mage. I think it's like these four could be okay. We have to really think about our takeouts though. I think Uktabi Orangutan's probably not great in this matchup. Yeah, let's cut the Uktabi Orangutan. I don't think we're gonna have space for those Naturalizes. We will cut Wall of Blossoms actually seems above rate in this matchup. We'll cut up Birds of Paradise, maybe one Aluren because we don't want to drop it too early. And then it's a spooky Halloween video for Friday. Zombies too strong. At some point I needed to try zombies as well. The deck's very sweet. And maybe we don't actually want this Mana War. Okay, we're gonna try this. Swords, Ray, just in case there's like Dystopia. And here we go. Gaia's Blessing to shrink the Soulless one. I don't think that's why Gaia's Blessing's in our board, although it's not like the worst idea. All right, I'll be on the play. This hand has just white mana. If we had a green source, this would look hot, but we don't, so we have to mulligan. Never feels great to mulligan against a deck with access to duress. This hand has everything. It's a shame that my hand's about to get dissected a little bit, but I think we're keeping. And I think we're gonna pitch the Spike Feeder. Oh, I was just thinking a way we could have won that last game since I was pretty sure that Cyrus would have put all the damage on the Spike Feeder since he's gonna know that's a combo piece. Would have been to maybe, I mean, I don't necessarily win the game. In fact, I probably still lose, but it takes a turn longer to lose. Would have been to just remove a counter from my Spike Feeder when I double block. That would have been pretty good, huh? All right, we've got a Windswept Heath. I'm fully expecting a duress to take out my survival here. Sarcomancy, okay, we're gonna land a survival it looks like. Not super stoked about the prospect of Dystopia, but that's where we're at. I don't necessarily want to draw land, so I will fetch for a forest now. And then we'll go to our turn, take an on tap, draw Birds of Paradise. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. For now, I think we're just gonna insulate ourselves from like hand disruption spells. So we'll go green, blue, take the damage to our City of Brass and get the survival into play. From here, if we can get Aluren into play, we can set up infinite life. I don't think zombies has an out to that. We are going to be under a bit of pressure for a second though. All right, we take the 2, tap for 2, Shepherd of Rot. That's also going to be meaningful. Pass to me. Land would actually be pretty good here. All right, Undiscovered Paradise. Ask and you shall receive. Let's go tap for a green, play this Birds of Paradise out, play this Undiscovered Paradise, and then let's just pass the turn. We've got this Ray, which makes us feel safe because turn 3 could totally be Dystopia or something. Maybe I'm a little bit too in my head about Dystopia, but it's I think it's something worth considering, the potential of that. So this is going to be an attack for 2. I cannot stop that. We need to figure out how to get the combo going as fast as possible. Raven Familiar is going to get me Squee. That's for sure happening. And then I think the Squee is going to get me my first Wall of Roots. I think we need to turtle up before we go for the combo potentially. Make sure we've got mana to work with. Do we want this Undiscovered Paradise back in our hand? I think that's fine. We can just drop the Aluren next turn. Although it's probably not correct to drop Aluren until we've got the engine. So let's go ahead and tap for a green here. I think I'm doing this twice, but we'll activate Survival. We'll pitch Raven Familiar. We're gonna get the Squee now. I wanna make sure we have a steady stream of bodies in addition to a way to win the game with this Aluren. Then we're gonna activate the Survival again. We'll pay a green, and then we'll pitch this Squee, and then we'll allow the City of Brass trigger to resolve. Take a look through our deck. Now, the big question here is, are we gonna go for a combo piece, or do we wanna like get a Wall of Roots into play to like protect us while we're doing our thing? Next turn, we'll get Squee back. So we can, if we get Cavern Harpy here, let me think. If we get Cavern Harpy here, and then we can't go for the combo, right? Because if we get Cavern Harpy and then get our Squee back, we can, of course, jam the Aluren, but then we can't use the Squee to go get our bird. So it's probably more correct to go ahead and grab the first Wall of Roots first. I think that's better. Because if I expose this Aluren and can't win, the chances that Cyrus just puts infinite power into play, kind of high. So we're going to untap that Undiscovered Paradise is going to go back to our hand. We're going to get our Squee back. We're going to draw a dead second Survival. It's not the greatest thing, although it's not like the worst either. We'll play Undiscovered Paradise. We'll tap for a green and a whatever. And we'll play this Wall of Roots out. And then from there, do we want to... We can only get one creature here. And Cabal Therapy is a factor, so I wonder if we're just sitting pretty here. I think so. I think we're just gonna hang out. Also, holding up this Ray of Revelation feels kind of strong. All right, Cyrus, do your worst. All right, Shepherd's gonna deal 2 to both of us. That's another thing I had to be careful of, is making sure I'm not at a life total where that thing's gonna just delete me on its own. All right, they go to smother the Wall of Roots. I think I'm just gonna let it go. Maybe I'm a little bit too freaked out about the prospect of Cabal Therapy here, but it's certainly something that could happen. All right, we got some combat coming. And our life total is getting to a point. You can get a birds, I could. Romaria Vidal, what's going on? I could get a birds, If I get birds and cast it, then I'm waiting till, but I guess that does dodge Cabal Therapy for sure. My thinking, and I'm new to this deck, I might be thinking a little bit too hard about like, how are we setting up the combo? Or maybe that's not what matters here. Do I want the ability to set up just winning-ish the game? If I bounce this Undiscovered Paradise, then if I top deck a land, I'm not on 5 lands. If I go to 5 lands after I Squee to go get my, I think these survival decks are all mana hungry. Yeah, they are. That's very true. And that's what I'm thinking about right now. If I can get to 5 mana, right, it unlocks something cool. I can pitch this Squee and say I do it with the City of Rest instead of the Undiscovered Paradise. Squee goes to get Cavern Harpy, and then I give myself the out of drawing land 5. Then I get Squee back. I go get the bird, and then I can drop Aluren, and then I can try to combo to Spike Feeder. Although that's a little bit spooky at this point because he's got a Shepherd of Rot. Cyrus could take advantage of my Aluren, drop a bunch of creatures, and kill me while my life total is low. Although I suppose I can just kind of like keep going, but it's not deterministic at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save life. I'm going to activate here. And do I just get Spike Feeder? That's interesting. Or do I need to go harder? I could get Mana War and just pop that zombie back in hand. Or I could go get another Wall of Roots, drop the Wall of Roots, and then drop the Mana War using the Wall of Roots mana. Does that work? I'll go to 4 mana, then I tap 2 for the Wall of Roots. No, because I'd need an extra mana to cycle to use the survival to go get the Mana War. I think Wall of Roots is just a good defensive card anyway, but I'm gonna be a little weird and get Spike Feeder. No, I think that's playing to lose. No, I'm gonna grab my Wall of Roots. I think we just need mana here. I am an attrition sicko, by the way, guys. I typically play attrition based like mid-range and control decks. Combo is not my thing. Also, drawing extra copies of survival does not necessarily help us here. Let's go green. Let's go anything and play out this Wall of Roots, hoping Cyrus doesn't have another removal spell. That would be pretty poor. And then do we just go get a second Wall of Roots right now and just have like as much mana as possible? I think so. Let's pitch this Squee. Let's grab another Wall of Roots. Let's drop it, tapping for a green and losing another life, unfortunately. Meaning this Shepherd of Rot's going to bring us to 6 and then potentially as low as 2. I don't love this. Also not entirely sure if like zombies is supposed to be a good, bad matchup, because really it's not the zombies that are the issue. It's the combination of hand disruption and removal that makes it a little bit tricky. I bet Fran could navigate this matchup just fine though. Black for a Carnophage, so I'm effectively at 3. I'm literally at 3. Gem Palm Polluter. It's so good. Good job, Cyrus. Got donked. All right. Well, that's we open up. Wait, I'm not going to concede. I'll let this kill me. Very spooky. Look forward to Cyrus's Halloween video that he's going to put out. All right. Well, we start on a loss. That's sad, but let's hop back in again and see if I can figure out how to play this damn deck. All right. Found a second opponent and Umboshi is on the play. Umaboshi. I don't know how to pronounce that. All right. We've got a hand that contains survival, Aluren, birds. This is a very strong hand. We're going to keep this. You two, we're both keeping 7s. We should import Phyrexian Furnace. Phyrexian Furnace in the main is a pretty good start for our opponent, but we don't care about Furnace as much as the average survival deck does. I don't. Here's my birds. Having Mana War and Spike Feeder in hand is very good. That means if we can draw the raw material, we might be able to just go and find the pieces that we need to execute the combo. How do you think this deck plays without having Aluren? Is it just vulnerable? How do you think this deck plays without having Aluren? Is it just vulnerable to this? Not sure what you mean. The Aluren part of the deck is straight up the combo. So playing this deck without Aluren, I think you just functionally have a different deck. We're going to see a turn 2. Is this just mud? Those are 2 Rishid imports. All right, tap my forest. That happens. There's a second survival. We will drop the survival. Green, survival of the fittest. And then we just need to draw like an creature, and that'd be pretty good. There's a wasteland. Love that I have not played into wasteland yet. All right, what are they going to tap? Probably my green source. That way I have less survival activations. They tap the plains, which I'm actually pretty okay with. There's a Raven familiar. We now officially are 1 card away from just comboing. That Furnace is going to make it not free to go get everything. And I don't want to extend this Treva's Runes just into open air when there's a wasteland in play. So what I'll do is which one of these cards can I afford to lose? Because I could simply go get another Birds of Paradise. I think Mana War is the one that I can afford to lose here. I think there's a Monk in the list to go get him back. Monk, the Monk Realist that blows up an enchantment. You guys might be talking about something totally different here. Tap for a green. I think we do just want to put another Birds of Paradise into place where our mana is tight, especially through all this mana denial. So we're going to pitch to start, I think, the Spike Feeder. It's the part of our combo that we don't need to start drawing our deck. And they should furnace in response, probably. Just always keep that thing tapped. All right, there's my Birds of Paradise. Here's a green mana, and here's my birds. And now they activate the Phyrexian Furnace, which is fine. And then this would be like an easy kill if they didn't have the Furnace, because I could just go get Squee and go grab the combo all at once. I don't think, are you looking for deck list? Idealist. I can't read my own chat. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to untap. They're going to tap our maybe planes. It really doesn't matter what they tap here. They're tapping the planes. That's fine. We draw Reflecting Pool. Now we can get this Aluren into play, which is quite good. Let's play the Reflecting Pool. Let's tap for green, 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 whatever. Here's my Aluren. And then we don't have to do anything right now, so we won't. This is all instant speed, so we're just gonna pass. All right, count it. This is the first time in this video that we've had Aluren and survival in play, and we're not just dead to zombies. A lot of qualifiers there, but it is a first. Do we wasteland my pool? Umaboshi says, uh-oh. Nether Spirit looks like it's just coming into play. That's fine. That's all good with us. And Raven Familiar, once I have access to mana, this wasteland's fine. Once I have access to mana, the Raven Familiar simply needs to get us a creature, and then we are in business. It's going to be very difficult to stop us from doing the things. And we're cracking the Furnace. Okay, now we're super in business. If we want to go long, we can just grab Squee. There's a factory. Combat looks pretty good for our opponent, so they'll take it. And then we'll just go to my turn. Our opponent does look like they're on mud. They have no colored sources. They're going to go ahead and tap down my plains, which is fine. We will draw. Okay, it's a Windswept Heath. I think we need to start. So we're going to go ahead and put this into play. Trigger the bird, show me a creature. It's just a Cavern Harp. That'll be pretty good. We can use this to draw so much stuff. We'll put these in any order. Then we're going to play the Cavern Harpy without paying its mana cost. And then we'll trigger the Cavern Harpy and put the bird back in our hand. Then we will play the bird without playing its mana cost and trigger the bird. Looking for any creature here again. Nothing, but it's a sword. So they concede. So what we're going to do here is we're going to keep going until we get a creature to survival for Spike Feeder, and we'll start by gaining infinite life. From there, we'll sort out how to win it. It'll be pretty easy. The sideboard. GG. All right, that's the first time. We did it. We did it once. In our video all about Aluren, we have officially Aluren. Uktabi Orangutan seems like it's going to be good. I think my Naturalizes also are going to be above rate. Game could go long, maybe Library. Meddling Mage, I don't know exactly what to name yet. Gilded Drake could take Masticore, and that's an interesting prospect. Are we trying to do all that? I'm gonna put them on mud, and I'm gonna put this Gilded Drake in my deck, and hopefully I'm not wrong. What looks bad? I think that Wall of Blossoms looks pretty medium. I could see slowing down a bit and cutting like Aeon Birds of Paradise, and then maybe a Spike Feeder, since their opponent's not very aggressive. We're gonna try this. It's probably a deck with Contamination, so like Contamination Control. I mean, yeah, there was a Nether Spirit. Good point. Very good point. Does that change how I want to do this? Maybe another Meddling Mage? Or 3 Meddling Mages is probably enough to handle that problem. Yeah, that's a good point. I completely forgot about the Spirit. Let's go Meddling Mage in, Library out. Yeah, that's a really good call. Naming Contamination seems smart. Sorry, guys. I'm so focused on making sure I don't completely shit the bed playing this deck I have no experience with. I'm like barely registering what my opponent's doing, except for Cyrus. His deck was so cool. I want to play zombies on the channel soon, but I need to get some more Lord of the Undeads, and I think I've got Gem Palm Polluters, I've got Shepherd of Rots, I've got most of it, but I need to grab a couple more cards. I'm also going out to buy Alurens this week so I can play this deck in paper. That's kind of why we're doing what we're doing here. I want to learn this deck before I try to subject Max or Chris to it, or Guy. Although Guy, I think, would enjoy playing Aluren as well. Deck seems kind of strong, although very interruptible. Our opponent's going deep on sideboarding. They figured it out. Bought Deranged Tournament, Survivals are next. Smart. All right, this hand, if it had a green source, would be just unbelievably strong, obviously. I'm considering keeping it. We've got the Swords to Plowshares, which doesn't have a ton of text in this matchup, although dealing with the first Nether Spirit is going to be valuable. But how many green sources are we playing? This is one of those hands where the upside of finding the green source is infinitely high. Ultimately, I hate coin flips, though. We're going to mulligan. This hand looks not as good, but playable. And we'll take playable. They're also a wasteland deck, so I'm like super uneasy about my Reflecting Pool. Maybe Yavimaya Coast is a little bit better than Reflecting Pool here. Yeah, we'll pitch the Reflecting Pool, and we'll open on Birds. Birds is going to make Contamination hurt significantly less. You know, obviously they could just kill it. That would be tough. Cabal Therapy. Okay, we have none of the cards that they would name here, unless they're like level 7 gaming and they name Birds of Paradise. They name Survival. We do not have Survival, which is outstanding because we're just going to drop a bird and draw Survival off the top. Nope, it's a Library, which is also going to be quite good. Here's my Bird of Paradise. And in this matchup, if they don't have enough removal, like Cavern Harpy just being a flyer might be enough. As long as we can find a swords to stop the Nether Spirit from being too big a problem. Tap for a black, Innocent Blood. We each sacrifice a creature of our choice. That's fine. Little land, little black, little Phyrexian Furnace. That's also fine. I think we're going to pay 8 off this first Sylvan Library. All right, untap and draw. It's a Raven Familiar. That's cool. I think we just want to go grab a basic Plains, stay out of the way of Wasteland for as long as we can. I know neither of these lands cast Cavern Harpy, but we're going to try to get there a different way. We'll play the library out and just pass the turn. Tap for 2, Zombie Infestation. Pretty strong. Phyrexian Furnace active. Sounds good. Pass to me. I'll take an untap and a draw. Naturalize is pretty cool here. Let's use this Sylvan Library and let's keep the Birds of Paradise. Let's pay 8 for this first one. Pay 4 life. Pay 4 life. Let's just go to 11. And let's play Yavimaya Coast. And let's think here. Am I willing to pay a life for this bird so that way if they have Wasteland, I can continue to hold Naturalize up for a contamination if they pitch a Nether Trader off of their zombie infestation? Playing around that is asking our opponent to have a very specific set of cards in their hand, which sounds not great. So I think I am just going to prioritize my life and not be paranoid and just get this Birds of Paradise into play. Don't be paranoid, Adrian. All right, and then we will pass. We're not going to naturalize this zombie infestation because I want to see what they pitch here. It's Engineered Plague and Nether Spirit. 10 out of 10 to Swords to Plowshares, that Nether Spirit at the end of their turn. That may be a little bit better than hitting Contamination because they'll just have to sack the Contamination eventually and I have a resolved Birds of Paradise. They sack to Cabal Therapy. Here, I think I might naturalize the zombie infestation. Unless they are they going to name naturalize? They don't know anything. No, we'll let it go. We still have this bird, so if they contamination us, we can naturalize anyway. We've got this bird, so if they contamination, we can swords the Nether Spirit when it comes into play. What did they name? Aluren? Yeah, we don't have that either. So that's 2 misses from Cabal Therapies. It's very good for us. Attack for 2 would make a lot of sense here. I did pay 8 life. Ouch, my face. Tap in for 3. Engineered Plague. Probably going to beat up my bird, right? What's the over-under on naturalizing this after resolution? Because that's also going to take out my Raven Familiar. I guess, is Cavern Harpy a bird? Can someone look into that for me? Did Cavern Harpy get errated to bird? We're going to let this happen. But end step, I think I kind of am interested in beating up their Engineered Plague. Because I still have this Swords. Although I won't be able to Swords if they get a contamination into play. But I am the one. It's just a beast. It's a beast Harpy. No bird on it. Maybe then we don't care about the Engineered Plague. It beats up my Raven Familiar, but it seems like I can just wait, right? Take an untap. We want a Swords. Ooh, Sylvan Library. That's right. I still have that in play. We will use it. I like this Wall of Roots. I like this extra Swords as well. I don't hate the Meddling Mage. I kind of like all these cards. Do really wish that at least one of them was a land. That said, I think it's okay. We'll leave this. We'll leave these on top. I don't want to just die. And then we will go green, colorless. There's a Wall of Roots. This lets us hold up Naturalize and Swords to Plowshares. 2 very good things. Nether Spirit's going to come back into play. It's not. They decide not to. They're protecting it from the swords they know I have. Very smart. What are we tapping 3 mana for? Skeletal Scrying for 2. Can't stop you from that. Shroom, what are your thoughts on the Apocalypse card, Fungal Shambler? Can you give me a text check on that? That one I don't know off the back of my head. All right, Nether Spirit comes back if it's the only creature in the graveyard. Got it. All right, we will untap. We will draw that Meddling Mage, or the swords, off of the Sylvan, then we'll keep going into the Sylvan. We see a Mana War. Just casting Mana War and getting the zombie out of play seems fine. Let's go put on top, and then we'll go green, no, blue. Gotta do blue. Green, colorless. Not colorless, but another green. And then we will play Mana War. That gives me a little bit of a clock. Trigger the Mana War, we'll put the zombie back in your hand, aka delete it from existence forever and ever and ever. Then we'll just pass. 6/4 Trample, draws you a card and forces a discard when it deals damage to your opponent. What's the converted mana cost on it? We getting another Spirit back or what? Nope, they still know about the swords. This Swords Naturalized is very good for me here. Cabal Therapy, not great, but it resolves. They take the swords. That makes a lot of sense. This is going to allow them to keep a Nether Trader in play so I can't just start clocking them, which is a pretty big deal. 4 blue, green, black. That's crazy. That's so expensive. I'd be down to brew with it though. It sounds kind of cool. Now, another problem we're about to witness is they are going to get back their Nether Spirit. They know that I don't have a plow. What they don't know is I've been hiding one on top of my deck, but this Meddling Mage that I'm about to draw off this Sylvan Library is going to allow me to name Cabal Therapy. I wonder what the over-under on that being good is. I would like to get extra cards. There is an Aluren. Well, do we just win the game now? Let's hide the Aluren. I'm going to be really careful. If I jam this Aluren out, right, I can't Raven Familiar because that E-Plague is on bird. So we may need to shoot down that E-Plague before we can go for the win. I don't want them to Duress or Cabal Therapy or Aluren. And casting Meddling Mage here is going to take me off of swords. It'll leave me on Naturalize. So maybe the play is to hide swords, hide Aluren, play Meddling Mage, name Contamination. I kind of don't hate that. Or I could just name Cabal Therapy. Let's see, if I play Meddling Mage and name Cabal Therapy and they have a Contamination in their hand, it's pretty much lights out for us, right? What if it's just like, yeah, Meddling Mage, name Contamination, they can't get that into play. They have to have a removal spell that really adds a lot of cards that they need in their hand to be able to lock us out of the game. And then we can hide the swords temporarily. Or conversely, what if we simply keep the swords and hide the Aluren? That's as bad as anything, because then it reveals it to Cabal Therapy. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this on top, and then put this on top, and we're going to keep the Meddling Mage. Then we're going to go white, and we're going to lose a life to go blue. And then we're going to play this Meddling Mage. We are going to name Contamination. And this might not be the most optimal play, but since I don't know exactly what I should be doing here, I kind of like the idea of just locking them out of being able to lock us out and play for a longer game. We'll attack for 2, because if they pitch 2 cards to their zombie infestation, I'm okay with it. Phyrexian Furnace, eat my swords to draw a card, that's fine. How about this 2? All right, they're taking the 2. And then we'll pass. Now this Naturalize wants to aim at the Engineered Plague, and this Aluren on top of my deck wants to combo our opponent. Right now it's not deterministic because we do have the problem of life. We can only go so deep, but all we needed to do is find a Spike Feeder. The Mana Wars are already in play. All right, they go for the Cabal Therapy. I think now the likelihood that they Cabal Therapy Naturalize is kind of high, and they can't cast Contamination. So I am going to go green, and I'm going to naturalize this E-Plague. Now this might give them information to name Raven Familiar, but we can go a different way if we have to. Also, this Sylvan Library in play and us having 4 Raven Familiars in our deck. Have we exiled one yet? We've exiled 2 actually, so hitting a Raven Familiar here would be quite good. I don't know that they know that I have it. Although I did just give them some information by blowing up their E-Plague. Yeah, they named Raven Familiar, very smart. Tap for a black, Innocent Blood. We will sacrifice Mana War. Mishra's Factory. All right, looks like we're gonna go the fair route now, I think. Oh, you know what? That was a little bit silly. I could have still gained infinite life here, huh? Yeah, because there is an Aluren on top of my deck. If I had sacrificed, say, the Wall of Roots, I could have gone a different way. I could have played my Aluren, then looped Mana War, Cavern Harpy, and Spike Feeder to just gain infinite life. Punt noted. We'll try to remember that next time we're in this situation. There's a swords. I will use Library's ability. How many Nether Spirits are on the bin? 1. Survival, they just so good here. Oh my god, that's amazing. This is going to give us access to our final copy of that one friendly card called the Bird. Do I get Aluren into play now and then worry about survivaling? Because I don't want to shuffle any of these cards away. Let's go put on top, and then go green, white, colorless. Here's my Aluren. Then I will simply pass. You can get your Nether Spirit back if you'd like. I do feel the need to apologize. If you're an Aluren sicko and you know all the lines, I'm sure you found a way for me to win this game already. We're learning here. So just the defensive, sorry. Let's say we got 2 Nether Spirits. We don't, against this deck, we don't actually need to like combat kill them with Spike Feeder, which I do believe is something you can do. I think gaining infinite life should be roughly enough. Black mana. All right, they're trying to turn the corner. Smart. Go to combat for 4. I think we're just going to take 4 here. Gotta go. Good luck. Have fun. Thanks, Constable. Have a good one, buddy. I wonder if we could actually, let's see, if you go to 3 here, then the Cavern Harpy, we've already got the Spike Feeder, which is huge. But no, I think we're going to take it here. I'm not going to try to get fancy. All right, pass to me. Oh, goody. Was I supposed to go get Squee there? Unclear. I will use the ability. Do we have a we just find the Raven Familiar. All right, you can go back on top. You can go back on top. All right, we can execute some mean shit here. We just need to get Mana War. There's a few ways we could do that. They've got 2 mana up, which is something I have to be very careful about. Do I just do this all at instant speed at the last possible moment? Gain enough life and it must be over. That's what you would think, right? Let's go. The one choke point here is them having a removal spell. That'd be a little bit tough. And I do need to find another creature to pitch to survive. I don't have a survival. So I need to get a Mana War. I need to get access to Mana War, which is a little bit spooky. We're going to wait and do this all on their turn. I was thinking I had a survival, but I definitely... Oh, was there a survival in that pile? I'm dumb. I thought I had a survival in play. All right, they're going to pitch 2 here. That's fine. We can set up some interesting blocks here, but I think because I didn't take that survival instead of the Raven Familiar, I think I got a little bit bright-eyed. Tap for a black, going to fire up the factory. I don't need this Wall of Roots anymore. That's very important too. And if they attack with this Mishra's Factory, that means that they can't cast Contamination regardless. So I think I know what we're going to do here. It's going to start with going to 5 life. All right, you declare. Then let's see here. We can set up a block with Meddling Mage and Wall of Roots. Then we can jam Spike Feeder and gain 2 life. Or we can just jam. I think we have to pop a block off here, unfortunately. Like lose one of our creatures. That's a little bit tricky. Reset the Meddling Mage. We can kill the zombie token in the Mishra's Factory. That's huge. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go Spike Feeder. Cast without paying mana cost. And then we're going to start by gaining a life. Gaining 2 life even. I've disappeared. Where'd my camera go? Hold on 1 second. Ugh. Sorry about that. My camera died, which I don't think is a thing. Let me know if that happens again. Because it's not supposed to happen. I should be plugged in and good to go. Weird. Where was I? Right. I was in the middle of gaining 2 life, going to 5. And then I think that we need to, and there I go again. All right, we'll deal with that in a second. Here, let's finish this game so my opponent doesn't have to wait, and then we'll figure out what's going on with the camera. Yeah, we're going to go to blocks, and then we'll set up a block on the Nether Spirit. We'll set up a block on the Zombie token. It does look good. What's going on, Pavlush? This is your list. Sorry about disappearing. My camera's somehow not plugged in, so after this game, I'm going to fix that. Pavlush, you made this look easy, Fran. This is not easy for me. And then do we pop off a block here? Yeah, I think so. We'll pop off a block here, and then that's fine for blocks. We'll gain 2 life because we'll need some life to play with when we start shuffling our stuff around. So we will remove a counter and gain 2 life. Can I just combo? How does that work here? I don't have a mana war, right? Cavern Harpy just oh, right. That's right. I can just need the Raven Familiar and the Cavern Harpy. Thank you, Pavlush. I appreciate you, buddy. Do we do this with everything on the stack? I think so. Okay, we're gonna go Raven Familiar. Oh, Harpy trigger on the stack. You can hold priority. I didn't realize that. All right, Raven Familiar does its thing. We're gonna go grab, oh, that's just a Mana War. Okay, we'll grab Mana War. Any order here. Then we'll go Cavern Harpy. And then the Cavern Harpy will bounce the Raven. Then I can Raven again. Trigger the Raven. Look at the top. It kind of seems like we're just looking for... Now, Pavlush, since you're here, can you explain to me how the how to grow a creature to a range that I'm able to like win, if that makes sense? Because I'm pretty sure looking at the list, you should be able to what do you call it? Oh, yep, everyone loves Pavlush's content. It's all the videos are insanely good. We'll cast this Cavern Harpy, trigger the Cavern Harpy. But is there a way to like grow something infinitely? And do you have to use Wall of Roots? Trigger the Raven Familiar, look at these cards. I don't really want any of them. I guess I'll take Always Harpy first. Okay, so when you say Always Harpy first, how does that work? Is this an MTGO thing? Pay 1 life, that's cost. Return creature to its owner's hand. Return this creature to its owner's hand. So does that mean, so I need to get the Harpy out of play right now. So we'll do that. Sorry, opponent, I'm learning something right now. So Harpy here, hold priority. Hey, little fun question for you. How does that, is there like a shortcut on the keyboard? I mostly play paper. So, and then we will bounce this. Oh wait, I see. So we pay a life to return this to hand. And then, nope, that's not how you're supposed to do it either. Bounce the Raven Familiar. This is what I get for not knowing this ahead of time. We'll take a Forest, any order, Harpy, cast without paying its mana cost, trigger the Harpy, bounce the Raven Familiar. Lots of stack triggers with this deck. Yeah, I'm not very good at actually executing. Okay, we found Spike Feeder, so we're okay now. But yeah, if the Spike Feeder was deeper, we'd be in deep shit, right? Cast without paying its mana cost, remove a counter, Mana War bounces Spike Feeder, and then he sees it, says GG's. GG's, so sorry, me bad at deck. All right, give me a second, guys. I'm gonna get this camera going. All right, we found a round 3 opponent. We got our camera back. So sorry about that clunky game too. Although we did win it. Playing against Baby. Good luck, have fun. Let's see if we can get a little 2-3 on this little set of games while I'm trying to desperately learn this deck, which is, guys, it's a little out of my range. We're gonna work on it though. I think this is fine. We don't have any combo pieces. We've got like birds into wall, Spike Feeders, we've got good mana so we can cast swords and we can try to get some top decks, find our pieces. All right, we go forest, tap, birds. Do they have the bolt? Let's find out. The swords? Okay, that's basically a bolt word. Hey, the Red Viper 22. I stumbled across YouTube videos and now I'm dying to get into this format. Thanks for the inspiration. Super. I love to hear that. That's mainly the reason to do this in the first place. This is I've struggled to enjoy Magic in its more contemporary forms recently. And between this format and a bit of Value Vintage, I have once again found my enjoyment for the game flourishing, you know? So that's really cool. All right, there's my Wall of Roots. We're going to continue to develop mana sources, have some interaction. That's a Swords and a Plains. I hope this isn't Parallax Replenish. Mainly because I just have no clue how to navigate that matchup. It's a forest. Exploration. Is it Enchantress? Wasteland. Uh-oh. All right, they get my city. I'm stuck on green mana. All right, we take a draw. It's a Raven Familiar. Let's see if we can't find a little land drop for the turn. Wall of Blossoms. Trigger the wall. Find a Meddling Mage. Not quite. We're stuck on just green mana for a minute. Exploration normally tells me Enchantress, but seeing a Wasteland, maybe not so much. No, there's an Argothian. Yeah, this is definitely Enchantress. Brushland. They found an Anchor, which is not great for us. Here's a Miri's Guile. All right, we may get locked out pretty quick here. Little Windswept Heath action. All right, they're passing. They've only got 2 in hand, but that Mirror's Guile means they're just going to keep going like forever. Drawing a Wall of Blossoms also not ideal here. We're drawing the defensive portion of our deck and not the combo cards. Well, there's an Aluren. So let's see, what do we need to do here? We need to draw Mana Source, develop this Aluren. And then from there, get a little bit lucky with our Raven Familiar. That looks like our way out of this spot. I'd love to get into Premodern, but can't seem to get anyone interested to play locally. That's difficult. It took me a minute to get my local scene going. Now we have great local tournaments, but if you want people to play locally, you really have to, what I did was I didn't just, it helps that I make content so I can justify the purchasing of cards a little bit better than maybe most people can. But ooh, Enchantress's Presence is bad. I bought into everything. Like I just bought into the format as a format. And then I started to fire off these events at my LGS. A lot of people do it at breweries and stuff. And I made sure to market it as like, hey, I've got decks to lend out. Come play. You can borrow decks if you'd like to. There's a Sarah Sanctum that's bad. And then slowly over time, I have actually just kind of stopped lending out decks because now everyone in my area has decks. But it's difficult and it's a slow start. If you have a 4-person tournament, don't be bummed that there's only 4 people. Be stoked that you got 4 people to come play the format because there is a gravity situation going on there. Okay, they've gone too wide. We can't Aluren. I'm not going to waste time here. We're just going to concede and go to the next game. Try to have a better start. I think Wall of Blossoms is going to be quite bad here, as is Swords to Plowshares. Conversely, I think I quite enjoy Meddling Mage. Naturalize, well, definitely Ray of Revelation. Not Auramancer, not Acolyte. I don't think Mana War, definitely not Gilded Drake. Maybe Sylvan Library. No Xantid Swarm, no Gaea's Blessing, I don't think. We don't have 2 of them, so we can't loop them to stop ourselves from getting decked. And then these Naturalizes are a maybe. If I really want the Wall of Blossoms out, maybe I can just like bring these Naturalizes in. Something like this. Be okay. Let's try that. All right, submit deck. I would love to play first. This hand has, ooh, I probably could have cut that Uktabi Orangutan as well, huh? We've got Raven Familiar and Spike Feeder. Good mana. Our opponent's got Wastelands in their Enchantress deck. That's pretty interesting. What does this let us do? Without any mana accelerants or survival, it kind of feels like we're just going to sit here with an Aluren and a Dream. I'm going to mulligan this hand. This one has a Survival and a Meddling Mage. If we can get underneath with the Meddling Mage and stop them from casting an Argothian Enchantress, we might have a chance. Of these cards, I think Spike Feeder is the weakest. And then we'll simply go Windswept Heath to start so we don't just get Wastelanded out of our Meddling Mage. I still have my old collection, started playing around Apocalypse and ended with Scourge. So making some decks wouldn't be impossible. That's how I'd start. Our opponent passes to me. I really don't want to draw my planes, so I'm gonna fetch now. Because I only have 1 planes to fetch for, and I really want this Meddling Mage on our Argothian Enchantress. Ooh, there's an Aluren. Yavimaya Coast, tap for a blue. Here's my Meddling Mage named Argothian Enchantress. Go ahead, opponents. I would have loved to lead on Survival there, but I really think I just need this body in play. Brush land, cool. Could be a Swords. No reason for them to pop it off now, so it makes sense that they're just like holding up their mana. Attack for 2. This is where you'd Swords probably. Unless they think I have a second Meddling Mage, then it's like maybe you hold it to see if I'll name something different with Meddling Mage. Survival, pass. Okay, so this means they have an Enchantress's Presence, potentially. Drawing a land would mean I could pitch Mana War to go get Monk Realist and blow that up. That would be quite good, actually. But we'll need to find the land. We're bottlenecked on green. We've only got 1 green source, so we need to be careful. Like perhaps we even go get Wall of Roots before we get Squee, so we can develop activating Survival multiple times in a turn. There's an Enchantress's Presence. Let's see if we can find action against it. Another Survival is the opposite of action against it. What we'll do is we'll go to combat. We will attack for 2, and then we are going to have to be patient. Looks like we're just going to be pitching Mana War to go get Monk Realist and try to blow up the Presence and hope they don't have a second one. Seal Cleansing quite good, but we have a second Survival, so I'm not sweating it yet. Sarah Sanctum, that's 3 mana. Second Enchantress's Presence, that would be very bad. Swords on Meddling Mage. That's highly upsetting. This means they can go Argothian right now. Brutal. Absolutely brutal sequence. All right, go to Unstep, we'll activate Survival. We will tap for a green, and we will pitch Mana War. We do just need to find Monk Realist. Try to slow this down a little bit. Alternatively, we could like try to combo, but we need mana for that. That seems unlikely. I wonder if we're still supposed to try to play through this instead of cut them off. What does that even look like? Let's see, we get Monk Realist, we blow up their Enchantress's Presence. They just have an Argothian Enchantress. Or we get lucky and draw lands. We instead go get a Wall of Roots, play that. If we draw a creature, we can use that to go get Squee, and then find land 4, drop Aluren, try to start with Raven Familiar and go from there. I think that might be better, as much as I hate it. Them having Swords and Argothian there is quite good. Here they seal the Survival more than likely, but I have a second one. Go to our turn. We draw the land. That's step 1, I guess. Let's go green, white, Wall of Roots, and then colorless green. survival, and then we'll just pass the turn. Now, Raven Familiar is probably the strongest card we have access to here, so we're probably not survivaling it away. Unless we just go to get Squee, then I could see it making some sense. There's our Growthian. They're about to draw like infinite cards. In this matchup, the only deck that I would want to register if I thought like there was going to be a lot of Enchanters in the room would just be 5-color Tribe Spec. I don't know how Enchanters beats that deck, but my win rate against it so far is 100%. Feels unbelievably good. Get Wild Growth, you get to do the thing, draw like 85 cards with the Sarah Sanctum in play. Yes, sir. That for 3. I guess they only have 1 enchantment in play right now, so it's not the worst. There's a third Argothian Enchantress. And Amiri's Guile to draw 3 with a white up. Swords to Plowshares on this Wall of Roots better than they could possibly know. Do they have it? Okay, they do. Outstanding. This is... I'm not really sure how we're supposed to win from here. They had 4 anchors in the top 20 cards of their deck. Okay, cool. Well, that was awful. We got absolutely destroyed. We're going to do another one. It's going to be a little bit of a longer stream today. Normally, we'd only do 3 videos. But since I'm learning this deck, I want to just get a couple more at-bat attempts. So we're going to create Premodern and go in one more time. All right, Vincent Vega found our 4th opponent, and we will be on the play. Love that for me. This hand has Wall of Blossoms, Raven Familiar, Mana War. Good luck, have fun. You too, baby. This hand's interesting. Our mana works. We've got a Wall of Blossoms. We've got a lot of the combo just kind of like sitting around. I wonder if we just keep this. I think I'm going to. We're going to open on Yavimaya Coast, I think. We really hope our opponent's not jamming Rishadan Port Wasteland. That would be tough for us. All right, here's this coast, and you may go. Purples and Forest. Sure. A lot more elves. Yep. What is this going to be? Could be elves. Although elves usually just plays the mountain as their only red source. Another City of Brass. We'll play the first one out. And then we will go colorless and green here. Take the pain. Play a wall. Trigger the wall. Draw a Wall of Roots. Not the worst. It's not the best, but like we're looking at potentially paying an echo cost for Raven Familiar at some point while we try to find pieces. Dust Bowl. Fires. This is Fires. Okay. We've got a little bit of time, but not a ton because they do have a combo in their deck. Take a draw. Monk Realist is really cool right now. I won't lie. Let's go green. Take the pain from the green and colorless. Play Wall of Roots out. Then we will play, I guess we're comfortable just playing Undiscovered Paradise. We'll add a counter here. We'll go white here. Monk Realist. Trigger the Monk Realist. Blow up the Fires of Yavimaya. No, thank you. Then we'll just pass the turn. Now we're set up to be able to pay Raven Familiar's Echo cost without it stinging too much. We are going to lose the Undiscovered Paradise, but I don't want to give our opponent a bunch of free life points this early. Follow the Herd. A 3/3 is cool. A 0/4 real good at not caring about it. We'll take an on-tap. We'll get a Cavern Harpy. Well, now we're just looking for Aluren. I think here, do we want to keep putting lands into play? I think so. Since we have a really good defensive posture right now, we'll go blue, lose the life. We'll lose a counter here. We'll go colorless. And I will jam the Raven Familiar. Maybe we can wait a little bit longer. Maybe we go Mana War and get busy. Yeah? Yeah, never mind. I take it back. I'm thinking so hard about the combo. I forgot, like, I've got bodies in play. I can just attack. Go to combat, attack for 1. And then we will pass. So when you combo off, what is the win con? Everyone always scoops once the combo starts. The big one is you gain infinite life with Spike Feeder. But I believe someone, for the love of God, help me figure out how to do it. I think there's a way to combo by using Spike Feeder to infinitely grow something with counters and then have a lethal attacker as well. I just am not familiar with how that line actually works. Wall of Roots is cool. We're going to keep going wide. They keep missing land drops. What if I just Mana War their Lawnmower Elves too? I think we need to start with, well, we can use this Cavern Harpy to just kind of juggle, right? What if I just keep stuff in my hand and keep punching them in the face? Let's do that. I'm not even going to think about the combo until I draw an Aluren. We're just going to go 3 damage. Then I'm going to go blue and I guess black. We'll lose some life to do this. We'll drop the Cavern Harpy. We'll bounce this Mana War to our hand. Then we'll go add a counter, colorless, blue, lose the life. Here's my Mana War. Let's trigger the Mana War and lose the Lawnmower Elves. Next turn, we can also, another play I just realized we could do is we can Mana War our own Monk Realist and deal with the Fires of Yavimaya as well. All right, we have the Lawnmower Elves back. They did make their land drops, now they're on 3 mana. We have like a very meaningful clock right now, which is huge. They're at 12. They're struggling on mana. I think we just need to keep tempo playing our opponent. Spike Feeder is pretty cool here. Aluren would just be dead. They would just, that would end the game, but we don't have that, so we're going to play to a different line. What if we kill the Fires of Yavimaya? What if I don't care about the Fires and I offer to feed them Monk Realist? Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go. Do we just leave that in play for a second? No, I think we don't do that. We're going to go green. We are going to go colorless, and we're going to go blue, and we're going to go Mana War. Mana War is going to pick up Monk Realist, see if they got a Lightning Bolt. They have an Incinerate. Okay, that's fine. And then Mana War does its thing. And then we can go to combat and get busy for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I think we're dropping our second Wall of Roots, just putting infinite toughness into play. Mana War and Wall of Roots maybe. Oh, sorry, I already read that comment. Then we're going to go to 13. We'll go white, lose the life, green, lose the life, and play Wall of Roots. And then we'll pass. Next turn, if we draw land, maybe we can even just cast Raven Familiar and try to find Aluren. Is also an option. That said, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. It's so much damage. Spike Feeder could actually make lethal. They concede anyway, so it's okay. All right, no combo there. Who needs it? What do we want versus this deck? We want Swords to Plowshares. I think we want Ray of Revelation. I think Crimson Acolyte's not quite for this matchup. Neither is Mana War. Gilded Drake doesn't take Blasted Arm, so I don't love that. No Xantid Swarms. I don't think we want Library. Gaia's Blessing is a no. Meddling Mage is a probable no. Naturalize can be like, okay. It can take out Sapperling Burst. It can take out, oh, what is it? I guess taking out the Sapperling Burst isn't that good though. I have to reread that card. But it takes out Fires. I wonder how worried about that I'm supposed to be. I think I'm going to cut I don't think I'm going to bring in those Naturalizes. I'm going to cut Uktabi Orangutan. I'm going to cut a Meddling Mage and then maybe 2 Meddling Mage. Maybe I'm just not worried about it in this matchup. I'm bringing these in. It seems like the combo is a totally viable way to try to win this game. I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to try that. All right. This hand can cast a Survival, and I've got Mana War and Cavern Harpy. This hand is short exactly 1 copy of Aluren to win, but we've already got the Squee, so we can try to like build a pillow fort with walls and stuff. Turn 1 Lawnmower Elves, strong as always. This deck usually plays some number of Wastelands, so I'm pretty comfy leading on plains. If we draw Aluren, I feel like we're just going to win on the spot. Do we have a turn 2 Fires? Nope, turn 2 Call. Very strong. Looks like we're slotted to take 3 to 4 damage next turn. We found an Aluren, so that's cool. Let's go Yavimaya Coast. Let's go green, white, survival. The only thing we really need is bird. So if this survival survives the turn cycle, we'll just go grab Wall of Roots. Alternatively, we could just like skip turtling up and we can just go grab bird and try to set up the combo. That said, they will be able to go to like maybe have a lightning bolt or something. Can I play around that? I guess it's all instant speed. Maybe I just get to play around that. 1, 2, 3, 4, another call. You got it. All right, my turn. I take a draw. Birds of Paradise, not the greatest because I already have the Squee. Let's go City of Brass. Let's go green. Activate Survival. Pitch the Squee. Let's go grab Wall of Roots. Let's play out Wall of Roots. For a green and a white. Take the damage. Go to 14. This Wall of Roots is going to allow us to go grab bird, the other bird. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to go add a counter, activate, pitch this Birds of Paradise, go grab Raven Familiar. Then from there, we can try to use this Squee to go and get, we don't even need the Squee to get Spike Feeder. We can try to just find it with Raven Familiar and Cavern Harpy. I might want the mana from this Wall of Roots, so I might not even survival at their end step. Plus, I don't want to lose any of the creatures I have anyway. So we might just take 7 here. Unlikely they can deal another 7. Yeah, we'll take 6. Yep, ouch, I'm at 8. Land, 1, 2, 3. Fires of Yavimaya, sure. Well, neither of those are Pandemonium, so I'm not sweating it at all. All right, pass to me. I will take a draw. I'm not going to kill this Wall of Roots off. I guess I could have activated it there, but I don't want to lose any of the creatures in my hand at all. Give me that Squee back. Draw a City of Brass. Let's play Adarkar Wastes. And then let's go Aluren. I guess we can pitch the Squee first. We can also just wait to do this, but I don't think we need to. Yeah, no, I don't think we need to. All right, we're going to go add a counter, make a green, white, colorless. Here's my Aluren. All right, here is my bird. Do we just activate? Oh, they concede. We don't. Well, that's a bummer. I don't get to do any combo practice because people keep conceding every time I develop the combo. Tough. All right, well, that's a little 2-2 day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. This is a deck that I want to play in paper. So what I'm probably going to do is I might even like later on in the day, I might sign back on and just like grind games and just talk to chat and not worry about recording this video that you're watching on Fluorescent Fungus right now. If you are, thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you next time.